Big news has arrived for the Gunners. Want all the details? Then follow me until the end of the video. But first, if you love Arsenal, show some love. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. Here, we post daily news and behind-the-scenes footage from the Premier League's biggest club. Mikel Arteta must prove Kylian Mbappé right as Arsenal's true reality comes into focus. Arsenal are set to compete on all four fronts this season, and for Mikel Arteta, winning at least one major trophy is no longer a hopeful goal, it's a necessity. Since taking over from Unai Emery on December 20, 2019, Arteta has reshaped the very identity of Arsenal Football Club. Back then, the Gunners were sitting 10th in the Premier League table, far from Champions League contention, let alone being seen as title challengers. Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in the world, Arteta said during his unveiling nearly 6 years ago. We have to be competing for the biggest trophies in football. That was made very clear to me in conversations with Stan and Josh Kroenke, and the senior figures at the club. He added, "There's a lot of work ahead to reach that level, and I'm realistic enough to know it won't happen overnight. But this squad has real talent, and the academy is full of promising young players." Since then, Arteta has overseen a massive rebuild, changing not just the playing squad, but the culture and standards within the club. His methods earned early buy-in from the players and staff, and that belief was rewarded with an FA Cup win in his very first season. 2 Community Shield victories followed in 2020 and 2023, but silverware has been elusive since. Arsenal have finished runners-up in the Premier League 3 seasons in a row, and their domestic cup performances have been underwhelming. In Europe, they reached the Champions League quarter-finals in 2023-24 and made it to the semi-finals last season, but they never truly looked like favourites to go all the way. Now, Arteta is hoping the 2025-26 campaign will finally be the breakthrough. The club has made its ambition clear. With new sporting director Andrea Berta pulling the strings, Arsenal splashed over £260 million this summer to bring in high-profile signings like Kepa Arrizabalaga, Christian Mosquera, Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Noni Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, Eberechi and Piero Hincapié. It's a bold, calculated push for greatness. Interestingly, Real Madrid superstar Kylian Mbappé sees something special in this Arsenal side. In an interview with Bild, when asked about his Premier League predictions, the Frenchman said, "Of course, Liverpool has to be mentioned first. They're determined to win title after title. But I also have high hopes for Arsenal. The core of their team has been together for a while, and that matters in football." Pressed to name a clear title winner, Mbappé added, "That's tough. Maybe Arsenal. Maybe this is their year. It would be easier to say City or Liverpool, but who knows?" By the time the Premier League trophy is lifted in May, Arteta will have been in charge for well over 6 years. That's more than enough time to turn potential into success. The club's hierarchy knows it. The fans demand it. And Arteta himself certainly understands what's at stake. With the talent at his disposal and a unified club behind him, the expectation is simple: Arsenal need to win, and win now. For Arteta, it's time to turn Mbappé's hopeful words into prophecy. Arteta's moment of truth has arrived, and there's no room for excuses. Arsenal's transfer window was bold and decisive. With over £260 million invested in top-tier talent, including Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Eberechi and Piero Hincapié, the message from the boardroom was clear: this club expects titles. But ambition alone doesn't guarantee silverware, and the cracks are already beginning to show. The early weeks of the season have been overshadowed by the injury to key defender William Saliba, who is expected to be out for several crucial fixtures. His absence will test the depth of the backline and Arteta's ability to adapt under pressure. Piero Hincapié, recently brought in to bolster the defence, may be thrust into the spotlight sooner than planned. Across the football world, opinions are sharply divided. While some pundits remain sceptical about Arsenal's ability to go the distance, others, including players and fans, are sensing a shift. The chemistry in the squad is undeniable, and the continuity from recent seasons could prove decisive in tight title races. With the addition of clinical finishers and more dynamic options in midfield, this team looks more balanced than ever before. There's also growing excitement around the club's tactical evolution. Some fans have called for a switch from the traditional 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, especially following standout international performances by players like Mikel Merino, who's been linked to a more advanced role in Arteta's setup. With Gyökeres leading the line and a midfield trio capable of both creativity and control, Arsenal may finally have the tools to outplay, not just outlast, their biggest rivals. Meanwhile, data simulations and predictive models have added fuel to the fire. Arsenal are now being considered genuine title contenders in nearly 1 out of every 4 scenarios. The team is expected to finish no lower than second or third in most projections, which underscores the pressure Arteta now faces. After 3 seasons of coming painfully close, the expectations have changed. Near misses are no longer acceptable. Off the pitch, there have been signs of a club trying to balance ambition with responsibility. Ticket prices have increased slightly for the new season, a decision that hasn't gone unnoticed by supporters. However, the club has also taken steps to strengthen community ties, pledging to increase access to matches for local fans as part of a broader social initiative. And while all eyes are on the men's first team, Arsenal women have already set the standard, lifting the UEFA Women's Champions League trophy last May. Their success has added to the sense that this is a golden opportunity for the entire club to rise together. In summary, the squad is stronger than ever, but early injuries will put Arteta's depth and tactical flexibility to the test. The pressure is immense, from fans, from the board, and from within the dressing room. Second place is no longer celebrated. This season could define an era. If Arteta delivers, he cements his legacy as the man who rebuilt Arsenal into champions. If he doesn't, serious questions will be asked. With belief growing and expectations higher than ever, Arsenal's time is now. Mikel Arteta must turn potential into results, because this season, anything less than silverware won't be enough. Saliba setback, soccer's hope, Arsenal injury update and return timelines ahead of Nottingham Forest clash. Arsenal are officially back in action this week, as Mikel Arteta's side prepares to welcome Nottingham Forest to the Emirates Stadium on Saturday, September 13th, at 12:30 p.m. With most of the squad currently away on international duty, Arteta will be hoping for a clean bill of health upon their return. Injuries have already tested the depth of the team, but there is cautious optimism that some key names may be available again just in time. Here's a full breakdown of the latest injury news and potential return dates for the Gunners. William Saliba, ankle concern. Saliba was forced off just 5 minutes into the match against Liverpool on August 31st, replaced by Christian Mosquera. He was clearly in discomfort and limped off the pitch, with Arteta later confirming it was an ankle issue. The French defender has since withdrawn from national team duty, with reports describing the injury as a twist in the left ankle that could sideline him for up to 3 to 4 weeks. What Arteta said. He twisted his ankle during the warm-up and initially said he could play through it. But in the first few minutes, it was clear he couldn't go on. That's when we had to make the change. Thankfully, Mosquera stepped in on short notice for his Premier League debut, and I thought he handled it incredibly well at Anfield. Arteta added, "Of course I'm concerned. If you can't play a match of that magnitude, it usually means something is not right." Estimated return, early to mid-October. Bukayo Saka, signs of optimism. Saka was taken off in the 54th minute against Leeds United on August 23rd after appearing to aggravate his left hamstring. He previously missed a large portion of last season due to surgery on the other leg, so naturally, there's some concern. However, initial signs suggest this setback is not as severe. The hope is that Saka will use the international break to fully recover and potentially return for the high-profile match against Manchester City later this month. What Arteta said. Yes, we're seeing improvement, but unfortunately, he'll be out for a few weeks. Thankfully, no surgery is required, and it's not as bad as the last one. It's always frustrating, especially since he was on the other side of recovery. He was just getting back to full rhythm, then this happens. We'll monitor his progress day by day. He'll have another scan soon and then we'll know more. Estimated return, potentially versus Manchester City, Sunday, September 21st. Kai Havertz, knee surgery recovery. Just before the Leeds match, it was revealed that Havertz had picked up a knee injury. The club confirmed he underwent a minor procedure on August 28th. Though the surgery was successful, no exact return date has been set. What Arteta said. It's tough. He was doing really well after his last injury, and then this happened. He had never been seriously injured before, so it's a big adjustment. But these things are part of football. The medical team recommended the surgery, and he agreed it was the fastest and best solution. Our priority now is ensuring he comes back strong, no rushing. When he returns, we want him to be fully protected and confident. Estimated return, unknown. Christian Nørgaard, closing in on a comeback. Nørgaard missed the first 3 Premier League games of the season with a minor knock. He was also absent from the squad that faced Liverpool, but there's a chance he'll return for the match against Nottingham Forest. What Arteta said. He's one of the players we're still monitoring closely. We've got another day to assess him before the game. There's a possibility he'll be involved, but we'll make the final decision closer to kickoff. Estimated return, possibly versus Nottingham Forest, Saturday, September 13th. Ben White, back in training. White started in Arsenal's season-opening win over Manchester United, but was subbed off in the 71st minute. Though he walked off without any visible signs of injury, he's since missed the matches against Leeds and Liverpool. What Arteta said. Like with Nurgard, we're watching closely. There's still time, and we'll see how he progresses over the next day or two. Estimated return, possibly versus Nottingham Forest, Saturday, September 13th. Gabriel Jesus, eyeing a December return. Jesus has been sidelined since suffering a serious ACL injury in the FA Cup defeat to Manchester United last season. The Brazilian forward has been steadily documenting his recovery on social media, sharing images from the gym and training pitch. In August, he posted a heartfelt update. 7 months of pain, doubt, and frustration. Today, I finally feel light again, like a child playing football. God is great. His return will bring a major boost to Arsenal's attack heading into the second half of the season. Estimated return, December. The bigger picture. As Arsenal prepare for a busy stretch of matches, fitness updates will play a critical role in shaping results. With Premier League, domestic cups, and Champions League fixtures all looming, having a fully fit squad could make the difference between success and frustration. Mikel Arteta will be hoping that the injury storm clears soon, because if Arsenal are to challenge on all fronts this season, they'll need all hands on deck. Saliba's setback, Soccer's hope, Arsenal injury update, and what it means ahead of Nottingham Forest. As Arsenal prepare to face Nottingham Forest at the Emirates this Saturday, the focus isn't just on 3 points, it's on resilience, adaptability, and whether Mikel Arteta's squad can withstand one of its first real tests of the season. With several key players nursing injuries, the Gunners are walking a tightrope between managing fitness and maintaining form. And with a congested run of fixtures on the horizon, every recovery timeline matters. Saliba out, and the timing couldn't be worse. William Saliba's absence due to an ankle injury will likely rule him out for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. That means he could miss a string of high-stakes games, not just in the Premier League, but also in European competition and domestic cups. His composure, physical presence, and leadership at the back have become fundamental to Arsenal's style of play. Losing him for this stretch is a major blow, especially with Manchester City looming later this month. Arteta now turns to players like Jurrien Timber, Gabriel Magalhaes, and the young Christian Mosquera to fill the void. Soccer's recovery brings cautious optimism. While Saliba's news is worrying, Bukayo Saka's situation offers some hope. After being subbed off with a hamstring issue, initial fears were eased by confirmation that no surgery is needed. He's expected to miss only a few weeks. The club is managing his recovery carefully, with the goal of having him back in time for the crucial clash against Manchester City. Given his influence on the pitch, especially in breaking down low blocks and sparking counterattacks, his return will be vital to Arsenal's attacking rhythm. Havertz faces longer spell out. Kai Havertz is another important player on the sidelines. After undergoing a minor knee surgery at the end of August, his return date remains uncertain. Although the procedure was described as routine, the club is being cautious, prioritizing a full recovery over a rushed comeback. Arteta acknowledged the emotional toll the injury has taken on Havertz, particularly since he had just regained form. His absence limits midfield options and may force tactical adjustments, especially in transitions and set pieces where he plays a key role. Other key names nearing a return. Christian Nurgard has missed the first few games but could return just in time to face Forest. Arteta confirmed his being evaluated day by day, and there's a chance he could be included in the squad. Ben White, who left the opening match early, is also being monitored closely. Though his injury appears less serious, he's missed 2 consecutive games. His return would offer much-needed stability on the right flank. Gabriel Jesus continues to recover from an ACL injury suffered last season. The striker has been making steady progress and is targeting a return around December. His energy and movement up front will be a huge asset once he's back in full training. The bigger picture, a test of squad depth and mental strength. This cluster of injuries isn't just a medical concern, it's a strategic challenge. Arteta must now make tactical choices that maximize the resources he has, while protecting players from further setbacks. He's likely to lean more heavily on younger talents and rotation options, demanding consistency from every corner of the squad. Fans, too, are watching closely. After years of building toward a title-contending squad, patience is thinner and expectations are higher. There's faith in the project, but there's also a growing hunger for tangible success, especially in a season where the club has invested heavily and spoken openly about challenging on all fronts. What happens next? The match against Nottingham Forest is more than just a return to Premier League action. It's a barometer of Arsenal's depth and character. Can they deliver a convincing performance despite being short-handed? Can the second unit step up in the absence of key stars? The next few weeks could shape the trajectory of Arsenal's season. Navigating this injury storm successfully might just be the moment that turns this group into true contenders, not just in theory, but in reality. Arteta knows what's at stake. The squad knows what's required. Now it's time to show that Arsenal are built not just for beautiful football, but for adversity too.